Vic was on her phone and she kind of like put it down and just like, you could see her like start to listen to it. And my son as well, like my son's like Travis Scott and Drake and like hip hop, like, and he's even like, he's just like listening to it. Like, this sounds familiar. Like there's something familiar to it. And they both listened to it. And right as soon as it was done, like it's almost like tearing me up. Like they're both like, damn, Dad, like that's deep. And I was like, wow, yeah, like this, oh, it's a special song. And I just wanted to say, like, you really did nail it with that. Like, it's good. Like, it's getting me right now. It's amazing. Yeah.
To hearing you say that, that's so sweet of you to share that. And
Yeah.
yeah, it gets me too.
Most linemen, as I'm sure Dan has had, or close calls, like near misses, we call them, whatever. Whether they're reported or not reported, there's moments that happen where you kind of sit back and you go, holy shit, like that was really freaking close. Like that was
Yeah.
it right there. I got lucky. Like
Yeah.
I got caught. Wasn't paying attention. Nothing happened, but that was the moment. I've had one or two of those moments that were like, kind of like peel off to the side, sit down, take a deep breath, cry, like, holy cow, like that was a moment. It could have happened. So lines like that, man, you really did do a good job. What has your life been like so far being married to the line?
Oh my God. What do they say? Like linemen have the highest divorce rate of anybody. No,
It's fact.
it's, I think it is or something, but it's great for me because I'm very self-sufficient. I can entertain myself very easily. I don't have to have, Dan and I met later in life actually at Sturgis at the motorcycle rally. I rode my motorcycle out there by
Oh, no
myself
way.
and yeah, met this nice group of guys from the Midwest, and he was one of them. Because in Montana, we joke, we have a saying that the odds are good, but the goods are odd. So,
Oh man, I think that works for more places than Montana for sure.
I say most people don't think about linemen unless your power's out. Like you just don't consciously as just a citizen wherever you live, you don't think about what you guys do. It's just like
Yeah.
I never paid any attention to bucket trucks or linemen or cover up on a line. Now I'm like I look and I'm like, "Oh, that's a brand new line," or now I can kind of say the things and I'm a dork, but he's like, "Wow, you really got the terms down." you know, it's interesting.
I just got back from a trip to Nepal. I was, I went to Mount Everest, base
What?
camp. Yeah. And that's honestly, now that you mention it, that's like honestly one of the most times I was like most peaceful. You couldn't think about anything else but your next step. And you had to talk to yourself like that. Like I remember like this was my conversation to myself in my head was one step forward is a step forward. One step forward is a step closer to where I want to go. And it was like that on repeat. One step forward is
Wow.
a step forward. You get to the end of this by taking one step forward. Like that's because you just can't think about anything else. Your heart rate's jacked. You've been climbing straight up for like an hour and a half, 2 hours of just stairs, it seems, or whatever, rocks. And it's like one step forward is a step forward, just one more step, just one more step. And that's how you get to the end. And then you get there 7 days later, but you get there.
Funny story. One time he called me, right? If you've ever done this, and he didn't mean to. And he was in the truck with another lineman. And I was like, oh God, what am I going to hear? It's like, I shouldn't have stayed on the line. But this guy's like, what do our wives have to do all day? Like, what, to get their hair done? Like, yeah, and so I'm like, oh God, what's he going to say? What's he going to
Oh no.
say? And I'm like, and he's like, dude, my wife, she's working on her album. And I was like, oh, but
That's amazing
thank you to
though.
him also for hanging in there because that was a long time ago. Like, that was 7 years working on my album. And he could have lost faith too of like, dude, when is this album be out? But it takes time. And so I just appreciate his patience as well of, it took time and I'm really proud of what happened with it.
creativity's messy. Creativity takes time. This is one of the things I struggle with in my new position, largely because of my old life as a lineman. Like, I grew up around line work, second generation lineman. I was a lineman on the tools for 15 years. And in line work, it's very much like productivity. Like, everything you do, you can see. Like, you can see a result, and you're constantly doing something, so you can constantly physically see a result of what you're building with your hands. And with art and creativity, like, even coming up, with like intelligent or just trying to find great questions to ask guests, like, it takes time, and sometimes like it's messy, and I seem to just sit around and like it's like I'm not doing anything. Like, that's what I feel inside. Like, man, Ryan, like, you're not doing anything. What are you doing? Like, do something. Cause like that's ingrained in me to physically do something. But then all of the sudden it just like comes, like, and you hit this flow, and like all of the right questions come out, or all of the things I'm trying to make or create just like come out of me, and it's all done in 5 minutes. And it's like realizing that all of that time, however much time that was, you needed to give that space, and you needed to give that time to just sit and think and create. And then finally it all comes out of you. I don't know. Is it similar for you? You find that with a creative process?
It is for me. And I like that you say that, because a lot of people force themselves with writing to write every day. And that's their shtick. Write every day for 10 minutes, or have your routine, get your pen and paper. And that doesn't work for me. Like, I need to not do anything. And then all of a sudden, like you, it's like this wave or feeling, or almost like channeling. If I was an intuitive or a tarot reader or something, it comes to me, and I have to find my guitar and just sit with a pad of paper and a pen, and then boom, there's a song, So that's a different writing style than most people. For me, I write all at once, and then it's done.
I use social media for like different reasons than I think a lot of other people do. Like, I go to it to look for inspiration to create, right? So I follow a lot of creators and that sort of thing, or I use nature in the same sort of way. So it might take like going for a hike or a walk, and it's not till 3 hours into it, you see one, view of a mountain, or you see a bird do something, or just something like totally random that you could have never planned, that was like the spark. And it's like, that's what I got to do. And then it's like, then it just comes, and it's like, that's what made it happen. The best advice you've ever received as an artist?
The best advice I've ever received was from a woman who lives in Livingston area named Joanne Gardner. She worked for Sony Music. She was a big like filming person. She filmed a lot of Alison Krauss's albums, specifically one song that I cover, which is called Steel Rails. And when getting into this business, or this talent or whatever, she said, because it's curious, like, you see it goes through trends, right? It's like right now country is really hot. Like, it's like, everybody's dressing like a cowboy. Everybody's, and it's...
Thanks, Yellowstone.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so I've always kind of done that, though. So she said, don't chase. She said it's like a pendulum. If you want to try to all of a sudden be a bluegrass band, like the minute you get to be a bluegrass band, it's going to be back to country. And then you chase to country, and then it's going to be whatever it is, it's going to be alt country, or, hip hop country, or whatever. So I really like that from her, because she just sort of gave me that advice from someone I admire, just to say, just stay true to you. It's going to, that pendulum's just going to constantly go this way. And so don't, chase. And there was someone locally, and they said, these people aren't getting a lot of traction. They're thinking of being a bluegrass band now. And it's like, well, just stay true to who you are, and either people are going to like you or they're not, and that's okay.